Imagine this. You open your phone for just 5 minutes and suddenly it's 2 a.m. You didn't write your essay, you didn't clean your room, you just watched 3 hours of skibidi toilet and NPC memes on loop. Bravo, humanity. You've invented boredom inside an endless entertainment machine. This isn't just wasting time. It has a name, brain rot. Your brain, once the proud product of millions of years of evolution, is now reduced to a potato fryer sizzling in dopamine oil. Why do we do this? Why are we addicted to 7-second bursts of chaos, clips with no plot, no meaning, and often not even a proper punchline? It's because our brains love candy. Not real candy, dopamine candy. Every meme, every edit, every sound effect is a sugar rush for your neurons. And here's the terrifying twist. Just like eating nothing but snacks makes your body sick, binging on endless meme chunks is making your brain sick. You're not just rotting your free time, you're rotting your attention span, your focus, your patience. Basically, the very software that makes you human. Welcome to the world of brain rot. Let's peel this meme onion and see just how deep the rot goes. So, what exactly is brain rot? It's not a medical condition, it's an internet condition. The word started as a joke, but now it's basically the perfect diagnosis for an entire generation glued to their screens. Brain rot is what happens when you binge on ultra-short, context-free, dopamine-packed content. TikToks, shorts, reels, edits, skibidi nonsense, Ohio memes, and NPC live streams where people thank imaginary gifts with a dead-eyed, "Ice cream's so good." Think of it like junk food for the mind. A single video is harmless, even funny, but watch 100 of them and suddenly your brain isn't processing ideas anymore. It's just crunching pixels. Your thoughts become quick cuts, your humor becomes inside jokes no outsider can decode, and your patience for anything longer than 10 seconds evaporates. It's cultural fast food, designed to be consumed instantly, forgotten instantly, and replaced instantly. And just like fast food, it feels amazing in the moment. That rapid-fire editing, the goofy sound effects, the chaotic layering of memes, it's like a buffet of brain candy. But the cost is subtle. Over time, your attention span shrinks, your tolerance for silence drops, and your craving for constant stimulation skyrockets. Brain rot isn't just about memes. It's a new language, a way Gen Z communicates feelings of absurdity, irony, and despair. It's nihilism wrapped in auto-tuned sound bites and Sigma edits. To older generations, it looks like nonsense. To the people inside, it feels like home. So yeah, brain rot isn't just content, it's culture. And maybe it's also the symptom of something much deeper. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your brain isn't built for TikTok. It's built for surviving lions, finding food, and gossiping around the fire. But when you hand it a smartphone, it treats every 7-second clip like a life-changing discovery. The secret villain here is dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter. Normally, dopamine helps you chase goals, find food, get social approval, finish tasks. It's supposed to be a reward for effort. But brain rot flips the script. Instead of work, reward, you get reward, reward, reward with no effort in between. Scroll, laugh, scroll, laugh, scroll. Your brain is trapped in an infinite loop. Scientists call this a variable reward schedule. Basically, it's the same trick slot machines use. Most videos are just meh, but every so often you hit a jackpot. Something that makes you actually laugh out loud or hits you with a perfectly timed meme. That unpredictability keeps you hooked because your brain is constantly chasing the next dopamine spike. Think of it like this. Your neurons are hamsters and brain rot is the wheel. They run and run thinking they're getting somewhere, but really they're just making TikTok richer while you lose hours of your life. And it gets worse. The more dopamine spikes you get, the more your brain adapts. It starts needing more frequent, more intense stimulation just to feel normal. That's why reading a book suddenly feels like climbing Everest, or watching a 2-hour movie feels like torture. Your attention span shrinks, your patience evaporates, and silence feels unbearable. Even your memory gets hit. Studies show constant short-form content reduces deep processing. Translation: you remember vibes, not facts. You know the meme was funny, but you can't explain why. You know you scrolled for 2 hours, but you can't recall a single video. So yeah, brain rot isn't just silly fun. It's literally rewiring your brain. And the longer you stay in the loop, the harder it is to escape. Basically, you're feeding your prefrontal cortex, the part that makes decisions, the digital equivalent of French fries. Delicious in the moment, terrible long term. Your brain becomes fast food, cheap, greasy, and addictively engineered. And here's the kicker. Just like junk food companies design chips to be the perfect balance of salty, fatty, and crunchy, social media platforms design videos to be the perfect mix of funny, loud, and fast. They're not just making memes, they're making your neurons crave memes. So when you say, haha, I have brain rot, what you really mean is, haha, my neural pathways are being hijacked like a GTA mission. Bravo, humanity. You've speedrun your own attention span. Brain rot didn't come out of nowhere. It's the final form of a trend that's been mutating online for over a decade. First, there was Vine, 6 seconds of chaos. Then, TikTok arrived and stretched it out just enough to allow storytelling, but not too long to risk boredom. Then YouTube and Instagram copied the formula with shorts and reels. Congratulations, humanity! You've optimized entertainment down to the size of a sneeze. But brain rot is more than just short content. It's a culture built on layering memes until meaning collapses. A single video might combine a Sigma male edit, a Skibidi toilet gance, Ohio references, NPC roleplay, Subway Surfer gameplay running underneath, and a Minecraft parkour background. The point isn't coherence. The point is maximum chaos per second. To outsiders, it looks like nonsense. To insiders, it's a shared language. Brain rot memes are shorthand for emotions too absurd to describe. Feeling dumb but powerful? Sigma edit. Feeling life is surreal? Skibidi. Feeling hopeless but funny about it? Ohio core. It's not just humor, it's also coping. In a world of climate anxiety, economic pressure, and political doom scrolling, absurd memes are a way to laugh at despair. They say, yeah, everything sucks, but at least this guy in a toilet is singing an auto-tune. Brain rot also reflects the internet attention economy. Platforms don't reward depth, they reward stickiness. The weirder, faster, and more unpredictable a video is, the more likely you are to stay hooked. Brain rot thrives because it's the natural endpoint of algorithms competing for your eyeballs. In other words, it's not random that you're addicted to these memes. They're engineered, evolved, and weaponized. Brain rot is both art form and algorithmic trap. So when people say this generation only understands nonsense memes, maybe they're right, but that nonsense is also a mirror of the times. If the 1960s had hippies and psychedelia, Gen Z has NPC live streamers thanking you for fake ice cream. And honestly, both are cultural revolutions in their own weird way. Here's where things get a little less funny. Brain rot isn't just wasting your free time. It's reshaping how a whole generation thinks, feels, and connects. First, attention span. Remember when you could watch a movie without checking your phone? Or read 10 pages of a book without zoning out? For many people growing up on TikTok, that's basically impossible. Teachers report that students can't focus for more than a few minutes. Even college lectures now feel like medieval torture chambers compared to the rapid-fire chaos of their For You page. Second, productivity. Brain rot trains your brain to crave novelty. That means doing boring but necessary tasks, studying, working, chores, feels unbearable. Why fold laundry when you can watch a Subway Surfer video underlaid with Family Guy clips and Sigma edits? It's not that people are lazy, it's that their brains are rewired to demand constant stimulation. Third, social connection. Ironically, the more connected you are to an endless stream of content, the more isolated you can feel. Instead of hanging out in person, many people now share memes as their primary form of bonding, which is fine until you realize you've laughed at 10,000 clips with your friends but never actually asked how they're doing. Fourth, mental health. Constant exposure to absurdity creates a strange mix of numbness and despair. You laugh, but it's an exhausted laugh. You consume chaos, but it leaves you emptier than before. Brain rot is like emotional junk food, satisfying in the moment, but not nourishing in the long run. Studies already link heavy short-form use with increased anxiety, depression, and loneliness. Fifth, culture itself. Brain rot normalizes nonsense as communication, which is fine when you're joking, but problematic when your brain starts expecting every idea, every debate, every complex issue to be explained in meme format. Climate change? Give me a 10-second Skibidi edit. Politics? Can I get the NPC version? Philosophy? Put Nietzsche over Subway Surfer gameplay and maybe I'll listen. And here's the paradox. Brain rot is both hilarious and tragic. It's a shared cultural playground, but it's also a slow-motion erosion of patience, depth, and empathy. We've turned communication into chaos, and now chaos is the communication. Bravo, humanity! You took the world's most powerful knowledge-sharing machine, the internet, and used it to flood your brain with toilet men singing an autotune. So, here's the big question. Is brain rot just cultural decay, or is it evolution? On one hand, it looks like collapse. Attention spans are shrinking, conversations are turning into memes, and an entire generation is laughing itself into oblivion. To a philosopher like Nietzsche, this might look like the ultimate form of nihilism. When faced with a meaningless world, we distract ourselves with meaningless content. Bravo, humanity! You stared into the abyss, and the abyss sent you a Skibidi edit. But maybe brain rot is also a coping mechanism. Life in the 21st century is chaotic. Climate crises, economic precarity, political instability, existential dread. How do you deal with overwhelming absurdity? By laughing at absurdity even bigger than reality itself. Brain rot becomes a pressure valve, a way to survive the unsurvivable. Think of it like a cultural mirror. Ancient Greeks had theater. The 1960s had psychedelic rock. Today's youth have NPC live streamers thanking you for fake roses while Minecraft parkour plays in the background. Every era invents its own way of screaming into the void. Ours just happens to be funnier, faster, and way more cursed. There's also a postmodern twist. Philosopher Jean Baudrillard once argued that we live in a world of simulacra, copies with no original, signs that point to nothing. That's literally brain rot. The memes reference other memes, layered endlessly, until there's no meaning left, just the joy of chaos itself. In that sense, brain rot isn't stupidity. It's the most authentic art form of a hyper-connected post-truth world. So maybe brain rot isn't just rotting your brain. Maybe it's your brain adapting, evolving to process absurd levels of information and absurd levels of despair. In a way, the chaos is the point. It's not about understanding, it's about surviving. And if you think that sounds ridiculous, well, so does a man singing in a toilet. Welcome to the philosophy of brain rot. Here's the good news. Brain rot isn't a terminal illness. You can escape the loop, or at least reduce the rot. But like quitting junk food, it's less about willpower and more about strategy. First, dopamine detox. No, you don't have to throw your phone in a lake, but you can limit how much time you give to short-form chaos. Set timers, use app blockers, move TikTok off your home screen so you don't accidentally open it 27 times a day. Second, replace, don't just remove. Your brain needs stimulation. If you take away brain rot, you need to give it something else. Long podcasts, books, documentaries, or even just listening to music without scrolling. At first, it'll feel like eating vegetables after a lifetime of candy, but over time, your neurons will remember how to chew. Third, mindful breaks. Seriously, try sitting in silence for 5 minutes, or take a walk without your phone, or write in a journal. These tiny resets teach your brain that boredom isn't death. Boredom is actually where creativity sneaks back in. Fourth, curate your feed. Not all memes are bad. Some are smart, funny, even inspiring. If you can't quit scrolling, at least feed your brain better memes. Think of it like switching from greasy fast food to something still tasty but less toxic. Fifth, rebuild patience. Watch a whole movie without pausing. Read 10 pages of a book every night. Do one task start to finish without multitasking. It's like going to the gym but for your attention span. At first, it hurts. Later, it feels amazing. And here's the final twist. Escaping brain rot isn't about becoming a productivity robot. It's about reclaiming your brain's ability to choose, to decide when to laugh at chaos and when to focus on something deeper. Because let's be real, memes aren't going away, but you can decide if they're dessert or your entire diet. Bravo, humanity! You can rot your brain or you can grow it. The choice is yours. So where does that leave us? Brain rot is hilarious, addictive, and kinda terrifying. It's the digital junk food of our generation. Cheap, fast, engineered to keep you munching. And just like junk food, a little bit won't kill ya, but a steady diet slowly rots the system from the inside out. But here's the paradox. Brain rot also tells us something true about being human. We're anxious, lonely, overstimulated, and instead of dealing with it, we drown in memes. It's tragic, but it's also kind of beautiful. Because in those absurd, cursed videos, we see each other. We laugh at the same chaos, and in that moment, we feel less alone. So maybe the real lesson isn't delete TikTok forever. Maybe it's balance. Use brain rot as a snack, not a staple. Save your brain cells for the things that matter, but don't be afraid to laugh at a singing toilet once in a while. And, as always, Nutty's final word. Bravo, humanity! You turned the most powerful knowledge machine in history into a non-stop meme factory. But at least you made it funny. Now hit that like button before your attention span evaporates and subscribe, because the next video might just be the cure for your brain rot. Or, more of it.